So how many prototypes did you guys go through before you finally settled on what everybody knows today?
Great question. A lot.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.
You innovated this incredible piece of technology for guitars that everybody, if you're playing rock or metal, you've got a D-Tuna on your Floyd in 2023. Bring me back to when you and Edward first connected, and how did that lead up to you designing this incredible innovation with him?
Well, it was actually through the same friend that introduced me to guitar, introduced me to the guy. And, I knew him casually a little bit in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And we started working on the project and made it work and made it happen. And, that was it.
Wow. So, talk about the conception of the device. Were you guys just sitting there and Ed's like, oh man, I wish I had a way to go from E to D with this floor?
Always the case with anyone with a locking trem. And there was a friend of mine involved in the project as well who had, part of the concept done, and I had another part, and he had another part, and I had everyone. It was always like, we just try stuff, all right, let's make this, try it, and we go, no, we got to change this, all right, then I go, no, we got to change that, until we got to the version that, was 30 years later still on the guitar.
So how many prototypes did you guys go through before you finally settled on what everybody knows today?
Great question. A lot. a lot. I couldn't give you a number, but it was a lot. And, he was very precise and demanding in what he wanted, like he is with everything. And that drove the vision home, that need. And, it's like, all right, make this a little bit longer, make that a little different angle, make this shorter, move the tuner from here to there. And every time it's like, let's change one little thing, it's a big deal to just change it. You can't just wing that. Mm-hmm. You have to do another production run, make some pieces, try them. And, it was a lot of trial and error.
From a technical standpoint, how did you get there, though? Because were you just sitting there like, okay, well, if I push the block screw down, the pitch goes up, but if I loosen it, like it drops pitch. Like, where did the original design come from?
All the D-Tuna is it's a wedge. It's a wedge that sits under the fine tuner of the bridge and between the string lock screw. So the same way the fine tuner pushes that screw up and down to give you that tuning, you jam a wedge in there to hold it in a certain position, take it out, put it back in the next position. But it was like, how thick is the wedge? How does that wedge cover which strings and which tunings? And, it was unknown at the time. It was all trial and error.
And it's interesting to me because it's like nobody else had come up with that idea. Like it took, Edward and you to essentially say, okay, how can I figure out a way to do this?
And one other guy. And yeah, it was that, I guess, the necessity of, and he knew exactly what he wanted. Always knows exactly what he wanted.
Right. So it's so interesting to just look at the piece, for example, and it's like now that you said it, it literally is a wedge.
It is. The first logo, which is long gone, but the first logo is that same wedge front, that little arch, and that made the D-Tuna, and it was all, I guess it was clever for the time, but didn't stand the test of time.
Right. Now it's got like the D note or something on it, right?
Yeah. There's two logos for it, but yeah.
Did you end up developing any other type of prototype with Ed, or was it just like the D-Tuna? Did you work on any other cool things over the years?
There was always talk of other stuff and, futzing around with a few things here and there, nothing that ever came out.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the years of seeing, so many different guitar rigs and just, being around so many different guys, what to you made Edward so special?
Everything that you think is the answer to that question, meaning take the guitar god out of the equation. You know, he was just a really sweet guy, just a really nice guy. He was a humble guy. He was enthusiastic, like a kid. You know, like, dude, look at this. Look at this. Come here. Like, real excited over like guitar stuff. You know, I would talk to him. He'd be like, "How's your daughters? You know, how's this one?" I'm like, wow, that's really a humble, caring, genuine guy. Forget who he is if you can, you know. But that's what made it special.
He just seemed like a real personable guy.
He was.
You've got this new line of FU Tone signature guitars that are coming out, and quite frankly, from the price point to the construction, these things are ridiculous. Like, how are you doing this?
Easily. I'm not set up like most other guitar companies where, you know, 3 or 4 other people have their hands in the pot to take their piece before it gets to the consumer. You know, I sell the guitar direct, and I could have sold this guitar easily for twice the price, and no one would bat an eyelash. Mm-hmm. You know, when people would come in my office in the beginning and they would see the guitars, and I'd hand them the guitar and they would be playing away on it, and they'd go, "Oh my God, this is great. How much?" I would always go like $2,800. They'd be like, "Oh my God, that's great. I'll be like getting 2 of these." And then I go, "How about $1,300? They're like, How? Because I cut out a lot of the middle, and I'd rather make a $2,800 guitar, sell it at a cheaper price. No one ever batted an eyelash when I said $2,800, and they couldn't believe it was $1,300. I'd rather get a quality instrument out to the people and, you know, get more of them out there. You know, I just try, like everything else I did with FU, I try to do something a little bit different than what's been done. You know, I'm not going to just do the same stuff that's already out there or follow the same formula. Then you're just, you know, the next guy with the same formula and same crap.
Yeah, then you're just another cookie cutter guitar company that's like, you know, in it for the money.
Yeah. So we worked really hard on getting these guitars right. Here's one I have.
I mean, look at that flame top. I mean, it's now, is that a real like maple cap on there?
Yeah.
Veneer?
Yeah. No, that's maple cap.
Wow.
Bridge all loaded. Noiseless springs, big block, brass claw, titanium saddle inserts, obviously D-Tuna, the FU2 tremolo, FU pickups. Under the pickups, I have the PMS mounting system, brass bars under there. This one has reverse headstock, which I kind of dig. Yeah, and this.
So that guitar, if I bought it right now, it would come fully loaded with all of that.
So I just took this guitar out of the box.
Oh my goodness!
This is how the guitar comes. Wow. We set them up real nice. They play like butter. They sound great. Bunch of colors. This is one of the new colors. The two-tone sunburst. Actually, my fiance designed this one. The color scheme.
Beautiful.
And Nadine Joy Photo on Instagram. But she designed this one. I'm like, really? I'm like, gold? She's like, but not shiny gold, like brush gold and the two-tone, and I want the reverse. And I'm like, okay, you know, let's make it. And we got this one in, and it's sold out. This was the first one to sell out.
You know what? Hey, look, it took a woman to design it, and boom.
Yeah. So, but I think we're up to like 8 or 9 colors now. There's a couple of trans ones, trans purple, trans red, trans green, with the nice maple tops, the solids. There's like a Ferrari yellow, antique white, you know, lots of different configurations. Also, the comes with the coil taps.
Oh,
so you could split these, kill switch, 3-way in a single volume.
Beautiful. Does the kill switch light up?
No, not on this one. You could order the light up one and add to it.
Yeah.
But I tried to design a guitar that I wanted. I made a wish list. I go, if I'm building a guitar for myself, what do I need? And this was it. And the most important thing after being a quality instrument and feeling good and looking good, I needed it to be versatile. So with the coil taps, you can strat out on this thing and set it to singles. You could just go one single, two single. I prefer on the cleans, I go humbucker in the bridge, single in the neck, and use that middle position, and it just clean as a bell. Nice warm tone still without sounding thin or brittle ever.
Wow. So you put a lot, especially with all your experience over the years of playing some of the best guitars in the world, like this is almost like your Wolfgang. It's a culmination of all of that thrown into this.
Yeah, I stole a lot of ideas, but I put them in stock. So you get it out of the box, fully loaded.
Yeah. That's a great Christmas gift right there, everybody. fu-tone.com. You got to order direct from the man, and man, they're beautiful guitars because I see them on. Even Neil Sean was repping one on. He was ripping it on like Twitter the other day. I was like, damn.
Yeah, Sean, and I knew him a little beforehand, but then we just got together on the guitars again recently, and I was so jazzed at how into the guitar he was. How he was like, holy shit! Like he goes, I got a guitar arsenal here of every expensive custom shop guitar in the world. He goes, and I just keep picking up your guitar. I go, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
There's no better endorsement than that right there.
No, and he's obviously a great player, great legend. I can tell you about him. Is a great guy as well. Just a nice, cool, humble guy. But I think what we all have in common, you, me, guys like Sean or Eddie or Slash or this one, or a kid in Guitar Center when I walk in there, the one thing that we all have in common is the nerd factor. Like, we're jazzed on guitars. We're like, dude, I got to show you something. Oh my God, look at this. Look at, and I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I don't care if you sold 100 million records or you've been playing for a year. It's the same formula. It's the same attitude.
Yeah, we're total geeks.
Yeah,
geeks.
but I think that's like, and I guess I'm biased because I'm a guitar player, but I think that's what makes guitar players unique. I don't see anyone else geek out as much as the guitar players.
There might be some car guys that have us beat, but man, like I'm walking through the street of St. Catherine and look in the window of a pawn shop. I'm like, oh, look at those single coils. They're filthy.
Yeah, it's guitar stuff is just, it's amazing. I'm sure like you have your network of boys too, like you'll text each other something like, dude, check this out. Oh my God, did you see that?
I'm really tight with Steve Nowicki from the Howard Stern Show, and every day he sends me a picture of like a new like razor blade mark that he made on his new Eddie guitar tribute.
Yeah, I became friendly with him over the last couple of years. He's a great guy too, and just shares in that complete nerd level factor. And we had been chatting for a while, and then I went to that EVH con in Connecticut, and Steve was there, and we hung out and talked, and I looked at his guitars that he made, and his guitars were amazing. Yeah.
There's some guys that do really good replicas and relics, and like Steve that just gets down to the nitty gritty. I mean, he'll send me photos of him with the razor blade, just like get it, like picture of the guitar, and then I'm like, you're out of control, man. Like,
yeah, but I love that level of geekdom, that level of nerddom.
Why do so many guitar players opt to upgrade their Floyd parts to titanium?
So it's not just titanium; it's titanium and brass in different places.
Like Collen, for example, I mean, like he refuses to play any PC1 without the titanium saddles, the block, the inserts, like everything.
Yeah, Phil, I love Phil. Phil's a brother to me. Phil was one of my early endorsers in FU, and Phil, I always tell him I thank him because he helped me build this company, because he was such a vocal spokesman about, the company and why he liked it, and would always turn. And people would call me up. I'd be like, oh, this is so-and-so. Phil Collen gave me your number. I was like, wow. He just on and on and on. The upgrade path it follows the same thing we were just talking about, that nerd level, what's next? What can I do? How do I do it? Type thing. And it started, the very first piece I made to start FU was the brass block. The big brass block that goes under the tremolo.
Right.
And I thought, like, if you just change that one part, the guitar will resonate more. It'll sustain longer. It'll sound clearer. It'll just give you more of everything. So I tried it and it worked, and I started the company on that. And I go, well, what else can we fix on here? And eventually the answer was everything. The next big thing, like little inserts in the saddles that pinch the string. So I make titanium inserts. So I'm sure you've had the problem. After a while, your insert cracks or expands and then gets stuck and doesn't move in the saddle.
Yeah.
So that's a matter of functionality. Titanium won't crack or get stuck. They'll always move in the saddle. But then I found out titanium just sounds better there. I'm like, okay, well, what else can we change? And then it was to the next thing, to the posts, the screws, the springs, the claw. And, whether you do one or two parts on your bridge or you do it all, it's an improvement over where you were. It's that next thing.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to Tom Weber, and he was explaining to me how just it makes every guitar tech's life so much better and so much easier because the shit doesn't break.
Yeah, obviously, no failure. It's not breaking. It's not cracking or expanding or stripping. It's durable. But then it's always two pieces for every tone: functionality, what we're talking about, and tone. All those things also play into the tone. So yeah, of course I want better functionality, and of course I want better tone. Who's going to say no?
Yeah.
And it's a very easy upgrade path. You could upgrade your bridge and get away with spending $35 and make it way better than it was.
fu-tone.com to pick up and check out all of Adam's incredible upgrades for your guitar. I guarantee if you've never tried to upgrade your guitar, it's like going to for your car, like getting a new set of, upgrading your rims or upgrading the sound system. And everything could possibly be that you could think of can be upgraded and can be improved and sound better. And, and it's easy.
It's easy to do. It's not, I used to be terrified of locking tremolos when I was a kid and just learning to play like, oh my God, how do I do this? Right. I try to take all the guesswork out of it for you. So I make videos. I do video service calls when I have to.
I love your less crappy video series, by the way.
I'm getting there. I keep trying to up the production. I'm getting a little better.
You know what, man? Look, they're great because at the end of the day, you could have the best looking video, but if your content is shit, well, what's the point?
Yeah. Agreed. I could totally Wayne's World it. As long as I get the message out there.
Yeah.
Make it. I like to take the guesswork out of it and give guys the confidence of like, dude, you can do this. If you have the ability to change your own strings, you can do this. It's just a couple little steps, and like I walk you through it on the videos, and I try to make it as easy as possible.
Yeah. My guitar tech Victor, who actually it was Phil Collen who introduced me to Victor here in Montreal. He does all of my guitar work now. And he wanted me to mention to you that he thanks you for your Intonation tool.
Not mine. I just resell that one. I didn't come up with that, but it's a great tool. It's called the Key. So available on the site in the tech stuff section, but it's a great tool for, dialing your intonation. And after a while, like I intonate them by hand. I do it by hand, but I do a lot. So I know. But if you've never done it, you're afraid, or you think you're going to mess it up, there's a lot of easy tools in there that like help you through this. I have a spring pull tool that makes putting on a spring so easy.
The claw pull, yeah, that too. Like
I love that thing. Like before that, it was like you're ripping it with pliers and holding it with a screwdriver.
It's gonna bounce up, smack you in the eye.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It was dangerous.
Just for the casual consumer, because this is getting into real tech talk, what is Intonation exactly, and how important is it to your guitar setup?
It's very important. So Intonation, in a dumbed down way, so I'll just say, like, if you have the E string is tuned to E open, if the saddle's not intonated properly when you play your notes, when you play the G, It's not, the G will be out, the A will be, so you want the saddle in the exact right position that when you play your G or any other note, that note is what it's supposed to be. Because A, it would be out of tune with someone else. And even worse, when you play a chord, you know, it would sound completely out of tune if the guitar, even if you were tuned open properly, but you weren't intonated right, your chord would sound completely out of tune.
Right.
So it's the distance between the nut and the saddle, and you're going to compensate for what gauge string you're playing and what tuning you're setting it to. You know, so this is 9 to 46 on it right now in standard tuning. If I were to put, you know, a 52 on here and playing half step, the saddle's not in the right place. You have to move the saddle to the right place. And of course, like I was saying with the videos, I show you in the video, like, here's how to do it. Here's how to set the intonation. And I could show anyone how to set the intonation in 25 seconds. And then you're like, oh my God, how have I been playing guitar so long and I didn't know this?
Right.
That same math problem goes into your Les Paul. It's not just locking tremolos, into your stop tails, into anything. That intonation is key. But the thing that always bugged me as a kid, a young guitar player, no one told me. No one's like, come on, buddy, give me your hand. I'm going to take you there. Mm-hmm. It was like, here's your guitar. Have a nice day. Best of luck. You know, and a lot of the companies still do that. I'm not going to name names, but I see that. It's like they just want to sell you something and wish you luck.
Yeah. It's
like, no, if you really educate your consumer on everything, you know, let the secret out, let them know everything. A happier consumer is a consumer that's going to come back to you, that's going to trust you, that wants to work with you. And they remember, oh yeah, that guy helped me with this. Yeah.
I see it all the time in Facebook groups where they're like, oh, I just got this guitar from X company and it came in the box and it didn't even have a gig bag and like it's completely out of tune. Like I can't get this thing to sound good. And like if they just told you ahead of time that, okay, this is what you need to do to get it playing as soon as you take it out of the box, there would be so many more happy people.
Well, first off, if you open it out of the box, it should come out like this. Yeah. You know, we do a complete setup. You know, they come in from the factory to us. We strip it down. We set it up. You're
personally doing a lot of setuwe on all those guitars.
Every guitar is set up. We don't get it from the factory and slap a label on it and send it out.
Yeah.
No, we set it up. We double check everything. We make it perfect, or it doesn't leave.
Mm-hmm. What's the string height that you set it at?
Personally, I don't use my gauge for that, even though we sell the gauges and everyone's like, oh, I need this number. Yeah. I do that strictly by feel.
Oh, okay.
Strictly by feel to, you know, a nice comfortable in between, unless someone says to me, you know, here's my height. Here's what I want. And guys do that. They'll say, I want this gauge string, this tuning, this string height. And we'll dial that in before it leaves.
And of course, if you're intonating a guitar that has 9 to 46, and then you go to a Phil Collen PC1, like one of his tour guitars that has the 13s on it, it's like,
yeah. And the biggest, fattest necks in the world, mm-hmm. You know, monstrous necks. And it's funny, I love PC1s. I have a PC1 in the rack over there, one of the splatters.
Oh, go grab it. Let's see it.
You're going to make me get up. Don't look at me from behind.
Let's see. We're going to find out if Adam's got pants on.
I am today.
There you go. fu-tone.com to check out all of Adam's incredible products and get these brand new FU Tone guitars as well. They come fully set up with all of the upgrades already in the package. They're ridiculous. Look at that. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. And you got the purple titanium screws. Look at that. So that was one of the ones that he painted. Number 7.
So
how is that baby set up?
I can tell the story about this one. And yeah. Phil and I, you know, became really good friends over the years. Like I said, he helped me build this company. So And I tell him every time I see him, and he blushes, and he's like, "Oh no big deal." And when he would get his guitars, sometimes he would send them to me or his tech, or they would come right from the factory to me to do what I do, and then I'd send it to him. So it was always a revolving door of Phil's guitars coming and going. And a Jackson box shows up one day, and I open it up, and I see this, and I call Phil, and I said, "Hey, you want the usual on this? This, that, this, that."
It's like ordering at the drive-thru.
Yeah, special number one, combo number one, Phil. And he said to me, "That one's for you." And I said, "I can't take this guitar." I go,
"Oh, wow."
I go, "First off, I know how much the guitar costs, so I'm packing it up and sending it back. But thank you, it's a nice gesture." I said, "I can't take this." I said, "If you feel the need that you have to give me a guitar, like send me some broken piece of junk, like out of your junk pile that you'll never look at again." I go, I would maybe take that, but no, I cannot take this." Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget, he was in an airport when I called him, and he said, "You've helped me so much, and you've done so much." He goes, "I'd be really insulted if you didn't take that guitar."
Well, there you go.
There you go, and here it is. So, and I was like, "Thank you so much." So this was the 30th anniversary PC1 where Phil painted them. But before the 30 production run, they did one test run, small test run. And this one is artist proof number 7.
Wow.
Out of the 10 that never saw the light of day.
Right.
And then the 30 went up for sale. And what a special guitar. And just now that I'm holding it again, I haven't held it in a while. Much like my guitar to me, I designed a guitar that I would want. This is all Phil. This is so Phil. The way, the sustainer, the DiMarzio Super Distortion, where the knobs are, how he has it configured. This guitar is a beast. They're so good. But what sucks about this guitar is it's such a rare, great guitar. I barely play it because I don't want to put a scratch on it. Yeah. So when I play it, I sit down and very gingerly, I'll sit and play it.
You bring out
the all right, let me put this one away. I'll put it away. But I'm very grateful and thankful to him, for the guitar, but more importantly, just to him as a person. Another one of those guys, and him, so yep. you could verify my statement of he's just one of the nicest, humble, great guys. And even if he wasn't, the guitar player in Def Leppard that sold over 100 million records, if he was your neighbor, you'd be like, "Oh, my neighbor Phil, who plays guitar, is pretty cool. Let's go hang out." He's just that kind of guy. He's a great guy.
I call him the nicest guy in rock. Like, it's rare you come across guys like that, and just he's just the man. That's the best way I could describe him. He's the man.
Love that cat to death. Yeah, just a genuine guy.
Yeah, absolutely. fu-tone.com to get all of Adam's awesome products. And honestly, those FU Tone guitars are going to make a really great Christmas gift this year for the young guitar player in your life, or the older if you're a collector, if you've been playing forever. Like, these guitars are not going to steer. I would not steer you wrong on this show.
Right.
That way, the stuff.
Listen, I'll second that. Fine. Call me when you're done. I'm saying goodbye to the designer of the guitar you were ogling over.
Oh, she came in.
She's gone though. She's here and gone like that.
Love that. What's next for fu-tone.com? You guys got anything cool in the works?
Yes. I can even leak it, even though I never leak stuff. I have a rule of thumb. I don't talk about new products or even hint them, or I don't do the pre-sale. Coming soon, but this is only about 2 weeks away.
Ooh, all right. I love this.
I won't give it all away. I won't give it all away, but this is the first time I'm leaking. The way I release product is when it's done, the video's done, the web page is done, I go, "Hey, I got this new product. Here it is." I hate the other way. I'm going to leak this only because you said what's new. I have a stop tailpiece Tune-o-matic bridge set, an upgrade version coming out in a couple of weeks. I won't give it all away. It looks, tastes, and smells exactly like your stop tail that's sitting on your Les Paul or whatever right now. And you wouldn't even know the difference for one of them just by looking at it. But tonally, it's a sonic boom for those type of guitars.
Wow.
And the reason I kept it looking, smelling, and tasting exactly like what's on there, some guys, especially Les Paul guys, are like, I don't want to change a thing. I don't want it to look.
Traditionalists,
complete traditional.
New tricks.
Complete. And I have my little rack of Les Pauls here, and I love them. I'm more of a super strat kind of guy.
As am I.
They have their place, and having that upgraded stop tail and Tune-o-matic is just the next phase for FU. So I do strat stuff, I do acoustic stuff, I make all the acoustic bridge pins, titanium and brass. So my next stop in my process was stop tail Tune-o-matics.
Wow, that's going to be huge.
I can't wait. I'm really excited about it. They look great. I got some of them just in, and I can't wait to release them. I'm just waiting for the last piece of the puzzle, then I'm going to release them.
I love that. So you know what? I'm going to hold on to this, so then this way you make the announcement. I'm not going to leak it or nothing. Unless you want me to.
Oh, you could leak it. You know what?
I'll put this up next week, and then everybody will be like, oh, shit, Adam's going to stop. What?
But I do the big release. I put it out in the newsletter and on the socials and stuff like that.
Hey, by the way, I was going to say Victor's disappointed that you stopped using the lingerie ads to pack all your stuff.
I can explain that. Victor, and so am I. So for people who don't know what you're talking about, when I first started FU, I would wrap the blocks in a piece of, of magazine paper. I would just take a magazine, cut the spine off, wrap it up. And in the early days, one of the magazines I had in the pile one day was a Victoria's Secret catalog. And as I started sending them out, people were like, hey, got my order. Stuff sounds great, but thanks for this page. It's awesome. And they would send me pictures with it. So I go, I'm on to something here with Victoria's Secret catalog.
Yeah.
So I would go to the mall. I would go in Victoria's Secret. I'd give the girl $20. I'd be like, give me as many catalogs as you can have. Like I can't imagine what she thought. Like I was some weirdo.
Some creep coming in.
I need 30 catalogs. She's like, how's this? I'm like, more. Yeah. And I would do it all and that's all I was using for years. And it became like a thing. People would talk about it. I got this page. I got that page. Then, side note, as I'd be wrapping the blocks, like if it was like a shitty page with like not the girls on it or something, I'm like, I'd throw that away. I just go right to the good page. And it became this little cult thing, and people would comment and call me or email me about it. And then Victoria's Secret stopped making print catalogs.
Oh.
So the reason why that you don't get the girly mag in the block is because Victoria's Secret stopped making catalogs. And out of the thousands of blocks that I sent out wrapped in Victoria's Secret catalogs, I had 1 million compliments, but I had one complaint.
Oh.
I one, just one. A guy wrote me this long thing like, I thought you were a more upstanding company, and
come on.
I'm very offended by this. And of course, I wrote the guy like an incredible apology letter.
Right.
I'm like, I'm so sorry I offended you, sir. Please accept my apology. You can't please everyone all the time, but I think I pleased most people on that one.
I'm pretty sure you gave a lot of pleasure, put it that way.
It was a bonus. People would like open it up. Like I also would throw candy in the box. Yeah. Long before Sweetwater was even a thing. You put that little pack of stuff in there. Like I would go buy bags of Halloween candy and just throw candy in every box.
That's awesome.
and dudes would love it. And now that the weather's going to change back again, now the candy will start up again.
Yes, I love that. Just think you were giving guitar boners and actual boners.
That's it. That's one way to look. That could be our next slogan.
Yeah, guitar boners and actual boners. The boner god.
Let's change that topic.
I don't know if you want that title.
No, scratch that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it was great talking to you and catching
Always,
up.
man.
fu-tone.com. Go check them out. If you play guitar, you need some FU tone in your life. Like, you don't need bad tone. You need good tone, and Adam's going to give you that good tone. Don't take it from me. Take it from the millions of others that use it. So, and this wasn't a paid advertisement or nothing. This is genuinely me endorsing it because I love this shit. So,
yeah, you've been playing it for ages now.
Yeah, it's on everyone. Pretty much, I've got like 4 guitars I have to put some titanium on, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Yeah, I got some Wolfs that I have to upgrade, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. Dude, you're not scaring me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you an email.
Cool, brother. This was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.